Welcome to Today in Prophecy, daily news in 15 minutes or less. News with the Bible as perspective. So what do we have? Well, we have pregnancy robots. What is that about? We're going to get there in a minute. And also all this talk about peace and security. Much to talk about. Very interesting. But let me go here first. Listen, tomorrow evening, Wednesday evening, August 20th, I will be in Redlands, California speaking. Check it out. Go to hopeforourtimes.com if you know where Redlands is in Southern California. Love to meet you there. It's going to be a prophecy night. Looking very forward to meeting you all there. Tomorrow, Wednesday evening, August 20th, Redlands, California. And then coming up in Texas, we have our Texas Prophecy Conference that's coming. It's really an Israel/Texas conference. Incredible lineup of speakers, including Dr. Hermos Shariat, Dr. Andy Woods, Eric Stakelbeck, Pete Garcia, Olivier Melnick, myself. Plus, we've added to this list, John Haller's going to be joining us. Chaim Mailspin is going to be joining us via Israel. It's going to be incredible, via video from Israel. Also, Josh Waller from the Israel guys and a couple of other guests. We just keep adding to it. It's going to be amazing. And by the way, the video package, if you sign up for live stream, you will receive a permanent link after the conference is completed. And the permanent link will include not only everything going on in Texas, our Texas/Israel conference, because that is what it has turned out to be. You're also going to receive the off-the-cuff Q&A that we're going to be doing at the Shabbat dinner on Friday night. And you're also going to receive another conference. The Santa Barbara conference is going to be included in the permanent video package. So check it out. Love to meet you there in Texas. Not a lot of room left there in person, but also we do have the live stream available, going to be available worldwide. One of these conferences you do not want to miss. And again, the permanent link is going to include all of these extras, including the Santa Barbara conference. So check it out. Looking forward to seeing you there. If you can't see you, then we'll see you online. Okay, let's get going with this. Check this out. Pregnancy robots could give birth to human children in a revolutionary breakthrough and a game changer for infertile couples. What a time to be alive. I would say indeed it is. In a sense, what a weird time to be alive. People are marrying AI bots, and now robots might soon be able to carry babies. Reportedly, China is working on designing a bot with an artificial womb, which will receive nutrients through a hose in its abdomen that will soon be able to carry a fetus for about 10 months before giving birth. This is just, what a bizarre world. The things that we actually talk about now, and technology is saying we're going to achieve all of these things. The pregnancy robot was conceptualized by Dr. Zhang Kefeng, founder of Kaiwo Technology in China. If all goes according to plan, the prototype will make its debut next year. Friends, stuff is getting weirder and weirder. I look and think, okay, well, it was the 1 Timothy chapter 4 in the last days. There will be doctrines of demons and deceiving spirits. The people will be speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their own conscience seared as if with a hot iron. It seems like we've reached there. And according to 2 Timothy chapter 3, evil men and impostors will actually get worse and worse. And then it goes on and says in 1 Timothy chapter 4, they will forbid you to marry and also command you not to eat meat. You go, are we here forbidding to marry? You got to wonder, because of the AI technology and AI relationships that people are developing, especially younger generations. Listen, I'll get into this somewhat in Redlands if you can join us there on Wednesday night, tomorrow night, August 20th. But I look at this and think the relationships that people are already building and what they're talking about, AI robots carrying your a baby. You look, you go, okay, is this going to lead to the forbidding to marry that Paul wrote about in 1 Timothy chapter 4. We seem to have checked all of the other boxes of 1 Timothy chapter 4, including commanding that you don't eat meat. We hear about that all the time. How much longer before forbidding to marry in the sense of heterosexual marriages, the way God had designed everything that God said is good, the enemy has come along and said, no, that is bad. And you look at the advancement of technology, you cannot help but wonder as you go back to the Tower of Babel in Genesis chapter 11, where God looked upon man at the time of Nimrod and said, hey, we've got to end this because anything that man sets his mind to do, he will be able to achieve. And that is what those who are in the tech world are saying. We are on the verge of being able to achieve anything that we want. All right, let's move on from there. Apparently, I sparked a few comments in the news break yesterday, Today in Prophecy yesterday, when I had mentioned Daniel chapter 8, verse 25, and Trump summoning world leaders to Washington. And I went through Daniel chapter 8, verse 25, the meaning of the Hebrew words. I did not say Trump is Antichrist, but I will say this. So don't put words in my mouth, but I will say this. The way is being paved. Friends, it is impossible to not see the trajectory that everything is going. Just as the Bible prophesied they would go, we are watching it. We are watching Israel being fast-tracked into their days of redemption, and that is ultimately what this is about. So when you look at something like Daniel chapter 8, verse 25, through their prosperity, through their peace, they will be destroyed. There's going to be through policy that is cunning. Went through all of that yesterday, and you look at this, what is the big talk? One of the calling cards of the last days is peace and security, peace and safety. We see it in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. You see it in Ezekiel chapter 38. I believe those are talking about two completely separate issues. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 is clearly global. Ezekiel chapter 38 verse 11 is speaking specifically to the nation of Israel at the time of the Gog and Magog invasion. Nevertheless, we see the call of peace and safety. In fact, you go back to the prophet Jeremiah, when they say peace, peace, they are lying. There isn't really peace. It's a fake peace. It's an encouragement to get Israel to just say everything's going to be good. Nevertheless, what we see taking place right now, and again, I did not say Trump was Antichrist. What I did is pointed out similarities to what we see happening right now and what the Bible does say and all the talk about peace and security. In that, check this out. This comes out of the AP. Trump says he's setting up meeting for Zelensky and Putin to discuss Ukraine and Russia war. All right, continuing with that thought. And then here's this. Macron out of France. You know that guy? Macron says lasting peace in Ukraine must include unwavering security guarantees, safety. All right. So again, it says here, France will continue to work closely with Washington and Kiev to safeguard our interests in a spirit of unity, responsibility, says French president. By the way, did you see where Hillary Clinton said if Trump can bring peace to Ukraine, Russia, she'll nominate him for the Nobel Peace Prize? I mean, you can't make the stuff up that we keep witnessing. But notice Macron says unwavering security guarantees. Let's walk through this real quick. Again, the calling card of the last days, a calling card of the last days. Peace and safety are peace and security. Ezekiel chapter 38, obviously 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. But what is this security? It refers to a safety. In fact, when you look at it from Ezekiel chapter 38, you can say the security part, not the peace part. The peace part is talking about peace, a time of tranquility, or at least fake peace that comes upon Israel, Gaza, Judea, and Samaria included. But the security could be likened to strength and quite possibly something like, if you think of it in this sense, Israel. The IDF brings security, brings safety in that sense to the land of Israel. When you land in Israel, for those of you who are going to be there with me coming up in October, you're going to know. As soon as you land at the Ben Gurion airport, you go, you're going to say, I can't believe how safe I feel. There's a strange peace. It's like God has this line of safety around the nation of Israel. Behold, he who keeps Israel never slumbers nor sleeps. It's going to be an amazing time when we go there. Can't wait to go there. But nevertheless, back to this. in Ezekiel 38, the time of safety or security, it seems to allude to strength, safety by strength, or security by strength. So when we see this talk in Ukraine, remember this also in Ezekiel chapter 38. Russia will be turned around with hooks in their jaws to bring them down. What has to happen before Ezekiel 38? Israel must be in peace, including in Gaza, Judea, and Samaria. But also something must happen that gives Israel, that Russia says, hey, they're going to turn around and they're going to go against Israel. God says, I'm going to pull you down against Israel in order to take something that they have, goods that they have, prosperity that they have. It could be minerals, it could be gas, it could be gold, it could be computer chips, who knows? I mean, there's so many different things that Israel has and is continuing to have and developing for such a tiny country. It's amazing, but it would appear that there's going to be some kind of peace agreement that's going to come in Ukraine and Russia before Ezekiel chapter 38 that will cause Russia to turn around, and God says, I will pull you down. So Russia's going to turn from the opposite way they're going. Again, I did not say that Putin is the leader of Russia during the time of the Ezekiel 38 battle when God actually destroys them. I didn't say that. I don't know who the leader of Russia will be at the time that that happens. I am not saying that Trump is Antichrist. What I am saying is look at what we are hearing about over and over and over again. It's getting louder and louder. Peace and security, peace and safety. All eyes are on Israel. Soon all eyes are going to be on Jerusalem. We know that from Zechariah chapter 12. The attention is going to be there. Hence, this is why we see people ascending the Temple Mount, worshiping and praying on the Temple Mount. Unbelievable, some of the events that are taking place. People are getting more and more focused. We hear more and more talk from people in Israel, primarily Orthodox or Haredi, that are talking about building the temple. Not everybody in Israel talks about building a temple, but the talk is increasing more and more about building a temple. And what else do we see? The wars and rumors of wars. We see the rise in technology that is obviously, the technology is here to implement the mark of the beast. What is not in place yet? 10 kings that would have to appoint who the Antichrist is or appoint that person to power. What else is not here yet? The hearts of the people must be ready for the mark of the beast to anoint their new leader, the beast or Antichrist. So folks, that is what is happening right now. The people are being moved along, the masses of people worldwide. Hearts are crying out for peace and safety. The technology is here. The day is coming. It's a reminder for you and I. I don't predict dates or any of that nonsense, but I do tell people this: look up and lift up our head because our redemption draws near. When you see these things begin to take place, folks, we are watching all of these dynamics happening. They'll have their fulfillment in the future still, but man, how close we must be. Come quickly, Lord Jesus. God bless you guys. See you tomorrow, and perhaps in Redlands, California, 6:30 p.m. Check it out at hopeforourtimes.com at the website there. God bless you guys.